Good morning.
Good morning. We'll begin here shortly. Getting started here shortly. Thanks for joining us here, Maverick.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thank you for having me,
Absolutely.
and obviously the Brew Labs community as well. We're big fans of the platform, as you're probably aware.
Fantastic. Just give me one moment here, get final setup, and we'll get this show on the road.
Just gonna grab some water quickly. I'll be back in a tick.
Sounds good.
Cool. So
Fantastic.
you guys have got the new crypto league online now. I guess I
Oh,
can talk a
you
little bit
got
about
it.
that. That'd be
You
cool.
got it, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us today here, Maverick. As many of you already know, Brew Labs is sponsoring the very first round of the Volcania Crypto League. So we most certainly thought it prudent to have you guys on, right? To kind of deepen that relationship and to kind of intermingle with our two communities. And here we have Maverick from Brew Labs, and of course myself, Trevor from Volcania. And just to kind of give you a general overview of Brew Labs for the Volcania community, at the base of what they do, it's about ensuring blockchain interconnectivity, right? The various blockchains, and helping projects do just that, right? Because now it's not just a couple of blockchains like it was back in 2017. We got to keep that interoperability. Wow, that was a bad delivery of that. But in addition to that, we got the auditing. I mean, every single day I see something in the news or in Telegram or something of some kind of exploit and millions of dollars lost, right? And projects go down in flames. And so that's part of exactly what Brew Labs is working to solve. And so with that, I think I'll just kind of pass the mic over to you, Maverick. And I'm sure you do a far better job at telling us exactly why Brew Labs is awesome. And congratulations on your all-time high as well.
Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Yeah. So in a nutshell, some of the services that we provide. Well, originally we were just when we started Brew Labs back in August, before we released the token, when we were previously Healing Potion token. We had started with generic auditing and just some kind of smart contract engineering in the form of creating token smart contracts. We saw that there was a need for a service or a company in this space that was able to provide people with security and confidence in the development of their token, and also obviously the auditing of code for perhaps tokens they had built by other developers. Since then we've really kind of taken in our stride all aspects of blockchain development now. So obviously we released our token for Brew Labs, migrated from Healing Potion back in December 21st. And since then, we've really kind of opened up the door in terms of, what we're offering clients in terms of blockchain services. So from smart contract engineering, so generic token engineering, now we've really kind of evolved in offering things like a range of DeFi smart contracts offerings, so things like staking, vaults, vesting contracts. We're also doing bridging contracts. Obviously, we're doing token contracts, which we'll talk a little bit more about as well. But other more kind of unique smart contracts, like winning distribution contracts, lotto contracts, anything out there in terms of smart contract engineering that people, have an idea about, and they would like for, someone to put it together for them. We've hopefully can, build whatever they're asking in a timely manner, and we also make it very, affordable in terms of, getting projects off on up into the well, launching projects can be an expensive exercise. So if we can help them, bring their idea to life through means of, providing them with the right foundation at affordable price, that's what we try to do. But, for us, from that point of contract engineering, that kind of evolved also into dApp development, which we do a lot of now as well. So building things like dashboards and front end dApps, swaps, lotto ecosystems. Lots of different types of dApps that we've built as well. Obviously, we build our own dApps too. We're branching off again now even further into things like just generic web design as well. We can offer anything, blockchain required in this space and development, end-to-end solutions, apart from gaming. So, we can basically do everything that a project needs as long as they are looking for things like gaming or metaverse. We just don't have those skill sets in our team at the moment, but perhaps it's something we can explore, further down the track. But
I love that. I mean, I love all of that just simply because there are so many business-oriented individuals, entrepreneurs especially, that they have capital, and even these existing companies, they have capital, and they're ready to make the move to blockchain, and yet they lack that core competency, right? They lack that experience to take that dive, and that's really where you guys are coming in. Like, hey, you got an idea? We'll help you build it on the blockchain, right? We'll make that work for you, and I think that that's going to be a huge market for you guys over time.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just the fact that we're the becoming more and more unknown, I think, for the work that we're doing, and just the way that we hopefully the relationships that we have with our clients as well. We try to do everything we can for them. The contract builds that we do it's not just a one-off relationship or a one-off job. We carry that relationship forward, because 9 times out of 10, the same clients that we're building contracts for, they will also need, further dApp development. They will need potentially, staking and farming. They would need, perhaps something unique in their ecosystem. And if we can provide that all from, one core brand, then, we believe that, we're sitting in a really, strong position, because, previously, before Brew Labs, there was obviously developers out there, but they're more so freelance developers. They're not working in a team in some cases. Work can be a little bit slow.
And you don't know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? When you just hire on a freelancer, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, we're hopefully providing people with the opportunity that they can just come to us. We're inviting people who just have an idea. That's all people need. They just need to have an idea. They can come to us and they can say, hey, look, this is my idea. Can you please help me, grow it to where I want to take it? And we're more than happy to go along the journey with people. We're very transparent on what we can and cannot do. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there who are innovating new ideas. So it's important to set boundaries with, in some cases, things are just not practical. So, we try to be as honest and transparent to clients as we can. And, that's one kind of pathway that, Brew Labs is working on. That's more so the services side of the project. So, being a company, and having consistent revenue coming into Brew Labs really helps us then build onto our second pathway of Brew Labs, which is our token and our kind of DeFi platform and all the dApps and utilities that we're building out for our existing holders, and the way our token incorporates into those particular platforms as well. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword at the moment. We've got our services arm like just powering through, and then we can kind of recycle that revenue straight into our development arm of our own roadmap, which is, again, really beneficial for us establishing ourselves as a company. We're not just necessarily, or just not like a project or a token. We actually are a revenue earning company, which is, I think, also very unique in this space because they're, compared to other tokens out there, they're just, in some cases, they're not revenue earning. They're just
tokenized ideas,
or just tokens. Correct. Yeah. So, and that's one thing we always have when we're building a project for people and they're coming to us with an idea. It's like, how do you monetize this? How do you turn this into a revenue earning business? Because the token space is evolving. It's where I think you can probably agree that we're getting to this point where, there's more, as you said, commercial minds coming into this space. There's more, their businesses now are being built in this space. So businesses need forms of revenue to be able to grow themselves. And therefore, people who are investing in these tokens or now pseudo businesses can have a little bit more security in knowing that, yes, there's revenue coming in. Hopefully the individuals who are running these, projects have the experience to be able to continue to grow these tokens into companies,
Sure.
evolve the businesses, etc. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of in a unique position. We try to position it. We try to kind of connect the dots between a real world company and a
right.
cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's
right. You got to wear a lot of different hats there, right? I mean, it sounds like you have some business development, some consulting, and then the actual technical execution too, which is the main reason why they come to you. But I imagine that a lot of your clients can come with some pretty lofty ideas, and you got to kind of dial it back sometimes, right? And that's something that I've seen a lot with consulting, where like, okay, what's the fundamental business reason that you're doing this, right? And so you got to find that balance between the leadership's dream and what's really going to make sense for the business over the long run.
Yeah, there's definitely some lofty ideas about that out there, and you know what? We welcome those lofty ideas because it's great. It's good to like innovate with people. Like we've made some really cool platforms for like some teams, which has been really exciting. Mind you, there's a lot of testing that goes along, with creating those new innovative ideas. But we welcome them, and and as I mentioned, if there's things that are just like not practical or we just can't do it, then we'll have that conversation with them. But to be honest, in most cases, we can generally make things happen, and that's the beauty of being in this space and working with smart contracts. It's all about innovation, helping people, or develop these ideas that people have, because there's some amazing ideas out there from people. They've come through with these innovations that are just fantastic, and you're like, wow, we've really got to try and make this work. There's lots and lots of cool stuff that we get exposed to with just general ideas from people. And personally, for me, I really love just hearing the ideas that people have and trying to help them bring these ideas to the space. One of the ones that we've worked on recently that's out and it's available now is that BGL lotto system. That was really cool thing to work on, creating like an entire lotto. Based on NFT tickets, instead of, people just having like a regular lotto where you've just got your normal, ticket that has your bunch of numbers on it. We're creating NFTs that had ticket numbers and like all this really cool stuff. I thought it was really interesting, that project. But there's lots of really cool things that we're working on. We just really can't wait to get them out to the community. Obviously, there's things that we can and cannot disclose given the relationship with the clients. We have to wait till they're live, but there's lots of exciting things in the pipeline.
Excellent. And we were talking about experience before. Let's talk about the team. What kind of experience have you brought on thus far? You mentioned, hey, we can't do gaming yet, but hey, we're working on that. But it sounds like you got everything else covered.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first started, it was just kind of myself. In terms of Brew Labs, it was myself and Peach. And shortly after, obviously, as it kind of grew, Sire came in. But Sire's been with us from Healing Potion days. He was kind of he's our community manager. He's an absolute legend. A lot of people here know him, and now he's coming more into hands-on for Brew Labs, talking with clients, things like that, which I believe he's loving it. So it'd be great to get him on full time. We've also got Garlic. He's a very experienced full stack engineer. He's responsible for our website and a lot of and the freezer and a few other things that we've built. We've got Booster. He is our blockchain engineer, one of them. We've got 3 other engineers that we're currently working with that aren't like core team members, but they're still they work with us on client work. So that's Whitehair Dev, Okiyami Dev, and Dev. I can't probably release their full identities at this point, but I'll circle back to the core team just so everyone gets a little bit of an understanding of what the experience that we actually have. So I'll start with Peach. So Peach is a senior. What's the best way to describe her? She's a very senior developer in terms of her ability to code. She's basically responsible for all the code put together in all of our token smart contracts. Now, token smart contracts out of all smart contracts are generally not the hardest ones to build, but they come with the most responsibility because, if a token contract is a misfire for whatever reason, obviously people are out of pocket. It's an absolute disaster in most cases because, things aren't working properly. So, the person who builds those types of contracts needs to be incredibly skilled to ensure that, those contracts are working swimmingly. As soon as they've launched, you just want to make sure that there's no issues with the smart contract whatsoever. So Peach has been working with code for approximately around about 10 years, where she works for her real-time job. She's in a very senior position. And coding the smart contracts that she does for us in this space is a walk in the park for her. So we're very lucky to have someone like her on our team. We've also got, obviously, Sire, who is our community manager, and also now transitioning at the same time while doing amazing work within the community, coming more in hands-on in with the Brew Labs kind of client side. He's speaking and consulting with clients throughout the day, whilst also at his day job. I just don't know where this guy finds the time. He's an absolute machine. So he's coming in, speaking with clients, establishing pools and talking with them on a more like relationship basis in terms of if they've got ideas, also helping them and supporting them, making things happen in terms of, also talking about what's doable and what's not doable. And he's learning very, very quickly. So, I'm really, really looking forward to getting him through on the core team as soon as, well, he's on the core team, but potentially in a full-time role as soon as possible. And just to mention, like a lot of the guys who work in our team work on this after hours, after their or during their work hours of their real world jobs. So in terms of like full-time people for Brew Labs, it's only just myself and Booster in the core team who are full-time. I'll talk about Booster now as well. He is a very talented and senior blockchain engineer. A lot of the kind of technical side of things that you see on Brew Labs. So, some of the staking contracts and the way they're all kind of connected and the reflections and how they're all captured. Like he's written all that type of new logic for us to have these new products that people come to us to utilize. Things like we've worked together on things like, reflections-based team lockers. We've worked together on the constructor, the freezer logic, all the cool things that we build that makes Brew Labs unique in terms of the way that the code is put together on the back end and connecting that all up to the front end. Boost is responsible for that. So he's very, very talented. I enjoy, working with him. We spend most of the day talking about ideas and building things together for clients. He's also responsible for all the smart contracts that you see for a lot of the clients as well. So all the ticket NFTs that we were talking about for BGL and ecosystem. Also, for example, NFT contracts that we've built, also vesting contracts that we've built for other projects. There's lots of really cool things that we've worked on together. There's also Garlic. Now, Garlic is he's a legend. He's our full stack kind of web developer. So as I mentioned, he kind of builds all of the really amazing front ends that you see for the Brew Labs brand. He's very talented in React, but he loves to work with Vue, which is a very new kind of Web3 development language. And for anyone out there who works in web development, they will see that Vue is a very, very efficient kind of code base for web development. It's what makes all of our kind of content look really, really flash and work really well together. So, anything that we build in-house, Garlic will generally be the one who builds the front end. And he'll also build basically all the, utility around that front end. So, connecting all the domains, working on all the SEO, making sure everything's kind of working the way it should be. He's been in web development himself, for approximately probably about 10 to 12 years anyway. So he's full-time in his own work and then works on Brew Labs after hours. And then there's myself. So I've been obviously now with Brew Labs. Well, we started it back in August. Prior to that, I was working on Healing Potion with a lot of people who are with us, now, and a lot of community members who have come from Healing Potion on the journey of Brew Labs, which has been great. But I've been in cryptocurrency now for probably about 4 or 5 years now. It's been so back in 2017. But prior to that, I spent almost a decade building my own business in the real world. That was in a different industry, but I started that when I was 24. So bringing in kind of like the commercial mindset into this project has been really, really, I think, beneficial for everyone. Experience in leadership and project management and, critical decision making, and just that general, business experience is something that I think has been very important for the project because, as Brew Labs grows, building in a way that we can scale it up, and effectively making sure that the business itself is healthy and taking the experience that I have from the real world and applying it to this space in terms of actual experience when it comes to blockchain engineering and contract development, things like that. I'm nowhere near as talented as Booster and Peach, but I can do the basics and things like that. But I leave that up to the guys who know what they're doing. So I spend a lot of time working with clients when it comes to clarifying logic. And for a lot of people who don't know what that is, that's basically talking about how smart contracts will work together and then basically communicating that, with the client and understanding or helping them understand, what we can and cannot do, what the pathways are in terms of, development and the processes, the steps we need to take. But I really enjoy the logic side of things, like talking about new ideas and talking about, how things will come together for projects from a technical side of things, making sure that they're satisfied and they understand exactly, what needs to be done and how things will be done. So, yeah, it's been a really, for us, we've got a large skill set of in terms of talent, I think the team is very, very talented. We've working really well together with the skills that we have. From not only a business perspective, but also from a token and community perspective as well. We're all available. We all talk, within the community. In terms of, Sai, he's obviously the community manager. He spends a lot of time in the community talking to people. I'd love to be able to spend as much time as he does, but my days are full with clients all the time. So it's a bit hard to be in two places at once.
Of course. But I like that structure, right? I mean, the structure of staying small, nimble, And you mentioned scalability, and that's always a huge issue for all businesses, right? As they find what they're good at, and they find their profitability, and now they just want to scale and ramp it up. But the general structure that you've outlined, seems most certainly optimal for you guys. And
Yeah.
you mentioned a lot of the unique talents that everyone brings in, right? And that's key. And so I think that brings me kind of to my next question of, what of uniqueness, right? How is Brew Labs different, and what exactly what is that differentiation that it's trying to achieve within your industry?
Yeah, it's a good question. I might just circle back just one last group that I want to touch on that I didn't mention as part of the team, and that's the mods. Now, those guys are absolutely amazing. Like, we wouldn't be able to spend the days that we spend, talking to clients, because it takes like hours, to talk to people in some cases, multiple meetings. But the mods that we've got, we consider them as part of the core team as well. Like, there's around about 20 of them. They spend their day in the channel talking to the community, answering questions. They do such a standout job, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. For us, they're basically the guys on the front line, on the coalface when it comes to talking to the community and addressing people's questions and things like that. Because it circles back to that, what we just mentioned, we just can't be in two places at the same time. So I just wanted to shout out for those guys as well. They're absolutely fantastic.
100%. But, investors, especially crypto investors, they need that attention.
Absolutely. They need to know yesterday if they've got a question. But but I guess what makes us circling back to just what makes us kind of unique in this space is the way we connect. I guess real world, company services or business to cryptocurrency. So. And how that impacts our holders. So, Brew Labs could be a project without a token. It doesn't necessarily need to have a token, but we wanted to have a token because it was, the right thing we wanted to do, and we wanted to also bring the community along for the ride as well. So we've built the structure of Brew Labs in a very unique way. It's very non-traditional. I don't know if there's any other companies out there, particularly in this space, that structure, the way we do things at Brew Labs. Generally speaking, in most cases, when you have services-based company or something like that in this space, so for example, Certic or something like that, the revenue that's generated from that business goes directly back into the business and, goes to the owners or whoever own it. For us, we see more value in the revenue of the business going back into the development of tools, which then can, through a number of small micro fees, generate income for the business, which doesn't go straight back to us. It goes straight back into a treasury contract model that we have, which then benefits all of our holders. So effectively what we're doing, and this is kind of just a really broad explanation of how it works, but if you can consider the way a real world company works, that, you buy shares in, so let's pick an American company, perhaps maybe, I think GM or General Motors. Sorry, I think that's one. I'm being Australian, I'm not entirely across the entire commercial market of America. But GM, I'm assuming you can go in and you can buy shares in that company, and they will do a share distribution, I don't know, maybe once a year or once a quarter or something like that, where they pay out dividends and things like that to people. So the way Brew Labs works is, we've got that same concept of we're going to be, sending dividends out to people, but instead what we're doing is it's coming out through means of BUSD that's being circulated not only through the tokenomics of the token, but in a secondary method through the means of the use of a treasury contract and the way that works. So I'll talk a little bit about that because it's a bit of a new concept that a lot of people probably asking questions about, and may have seen in our channel. I don't understand fully how it works. So all the revenue that comes in from the tools that we develop, and there's a number of very small performance fees across the platform that get charged for people, utilizing things on the tools on our platform. We're not about, charging large fees for people. We're more about charging very small fees or micro fees across a very large group of people. So what happens is, someone might come to our constructor and they might make LP. They'll pay a 1% fee on the total amount that they're constructing or making LP for the first time. Someone comes along to use the freezer, or a team comes along to use the freezer. In that case, they pay 0.5 BNB, which is a little bit higher, but also very competitive. If a user is staking on our platform, every time that they compound or harvest, they pay a very small fee of 10 cents. Or thereabouts. And each time someone comes in and uses something on our platform, we funnel the revenue of that fee straight to what's called the treasury contract. And then the treasury contract will accrue BNB over a 24-hour period and then execute a buy on the chart. So what it's using is all the BNB that's being captured as revenue from all the tools, and it's using that to go ahead and buy the Brew Labs token. So the holders out there benefit twofold. They get the uplift of the purchase on the token, and the treasury purchase is indiscriminate of what's going on in the market. It will buy every day, no matter what. So the holders get the uplift. They also get the BUSD reflections because the treasury contract will pay tax every time it purchases. So they're directly benefiting from all the tools that we're building out there. From the uplift of the token and also the BUSD. So it's a great kind of model for holders. They can join the project by holding the token. They can benefit from all the things that we're building as a result of us being able to generate revenue as a business. Now, there will be certain times as well where we throw extra BNB into the treasury contract as a result of revenue. We've done that a few times in January. I think we bought back around about 30 BNB. We bought about 35 BNB back in February. March, I think we brought back around, this month we've thrown in probably around about 20 BNB or so, but this month we also created the treasury contract. So there's been a lot of BNB purchases since we created the treasury contract. And you can see when we created it as a result on our chart, and the way that's kind of impacted the project since it's been incorporated. One of the other benefits of the treasury is the way it fundamentally works in terms of storing tokens. So every time the treasury buys, and as I mentioned, it buys once a day as a result of all the fees generated. It buys once a day, and basically the tokens that are bought then sit in the treasury contract as like a bank, and therefore cannot re-enter circulation and be sold again. So what's happening is the treasury contract buys, stores tokens, and effectively takes them out of supply. So what it's doing is we've got kind of a deflationary supply to a certain degree. The treasury contract, we as the team, we can call on a total of 5% of total supply anytime out of that contract with a 30-day cooldown. Before we do anything like that, obviously we'll disclose to the community what we're using it for. In most cases, it'll be for things like staking pool top up or liquidity that we'll need to add to our bridge, or for example, a bond distribution if we're going to go down that path as well. So there's a few things that we can use the supply for, but it is restricted by means of not allowing us to take everything out in one go. There's a cooldown there in place to protect everyone. It's not something we would ever do anyway. We're fully doxed. It's there for everyone as the Brew Labs community to follow and monitor. People watch this thing like a hawk, and it's great. It's been doing really, really well for us, and it's something that we can also scale. So you mentioned, scalability. So scalability for us obviously includes, team scalability, so being able to grow the team as a result of our requirements for Brew Labs, but also scalability on our platform and our revenue fee model. Basically, the buyback model itself, every single client that we introduce or we do work for, that we build pools for, that we may build a DApp or something for, we try and introduce them to other products that we offer. Therefore that, and 9 times out of 10, they're more than happy to, make pools or, for example, look at some other things that we're doing and, participate in our ecosystem. So, we get direct exposure to another community that will then go use our platform, which will then be using our tools and being charged a very small fee. And, slowly but surely, for us, we can scale, we can build, we can get more clients on board and, more communities using our tools. And, this buyback model for the treasury contract will just, continue to grow as we funnel more BNB to it. We've also got a number of tier 1 tools that we're building out, which will charge much higher fees, so around anywhere between 1 to 3 BNB, which again will be funneling back straight into that treasury contract. So as soon as we start developing those and releasing those types of tools, we'll see exponential growth in terms of the volume of buyback power the treasury contract will be able to undertake on a daily basis. So the model itself benefits holders by means of passive income. It benefits holders by means of uplift for tokens. It is fed by our business in terms of the service side, which allows us to build out more tools, take on more resources, more devs. So, we believe that the whole kind of structure of Brew Labs is, at its core, is built in a very, I guess, competitive and practical sense that, incorporating business into cryptocurrency, it's just benefiting everyone who's involved with it. So we're really looking forward to, what the future has for Brew Labs. We for the team, with obviously things have been going very well for us the last, say 2 weeks or thereabouts since we've incorporated the treasury contract. But, we just want to stress this is only just scratching the surface. We've got so much more that we want to deliver and build. For us, the journey has only just begun. So we're really looking forward to, what this year has to unfold in particular, and obviously the future past that as well.
Absolutely. I love all of that. I mean, that structure of how to take what is essentially just a service, right? A very important service that we both agree is needed. And working that into something that benefits holders. I love that structure, and congratulations on setting up that auto buy feature. I mean, that's just bullish as hell, right? Everybody's going to love that. So very intelligent, and that that's why we're so happy to have you on as one of our sponsors. And as many of the Volcania community already know, but perhaps the Brew Labs community listening in. Almost every single token listed on Volcania, we developed that relationship, right? We didn't just grab your contract at random and then just list your token. We always reach out to our projects, and we always make sure that we have that synergistic, cross-promotional, mutual beneficial kind of relationship. And so we latched onto you guys really quickly. We love what you're doing, and we're really happy that that you guys decided to sponsor this very first round one. And in fact, very generously, with 500,000 Brew Labs tokens, which as the minutes tick by are becoming worth more and more and more. And congratulations again on that. And so one of my final questions is, what attracted you to Volcania?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Volcania came through, I believe, from Sire or perhaps one of the mods. But I know, I think it was Sire who introduced the platform to the team. I had seen Volcania in the past, but I wasn't fully across the platform. But Sire introduced it to us, and we've obviously got the bot in our channel, and from our perspective, it provides all the information that our holders are looking for. It's great. I really like the part where we can go down and have a look at the top holders section where we've got named named wallets. I really like that, and I love the staking pool information. It's really kind of an outstanding platform. It's got basically everything that as a holder, all the information's there. So for us, we're more than happy to sponsor you guys. We're happy to be the first ones to do it, and we're glad that our tokens, albeit seem generous. We're more than happy that we're involved in the first round, and congratulations to you guys to your development of the league. It's certainly a fun thing to be involved in. I'm myself am participating in it as well. So I think a lot of our holders really enjoy it. And it's a great platform. We're really excited to see what you guys are going to be building next. So yeah, congratulations on that as well. And I look forward to to seeing the outcome of the first round.
Yeah, launch in 6 days, and for anyone that doesn't know, it's free to play. So you're able to sign up as long as you've got a wallet to connect, and so everyone in Brew Labs can come on over and attempt to win these prize pools. Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of activity from your guys' community, and I hope that you guys can say the same about us.
Yeah, absolutely. There might be some people in our channel or listening to this that might not be fully across what the league is. Is it okay if you might be able to just provide them with just a top-down kind of summary of what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the baseline, think of Volcania Crypto League as Final Fantasy football, except for crypto, right? And so we've covered this in our FAQs and our other mediums. So I wanted definitely to give you guys most of the limelight during this AMA. But at a very baseline, you are managing the different various cryptocurrency projects that you select on your team to generate points. And those points then climb you up or down on a leaderboard. And the ability to earn real cash prizes, right, whether or not it's VLK or Brew Labs, is dependent, one, on your leaderboard position. And then two, also, there's lotteries to go along with that. And so we already have all of the key data necessary for most of that. As you can just see, that's what Volcania does at the end of the day, right? We gather up the data and we display it in useful ways. Well, with that data, we're able to create different ways of tracking different price points. And so that's exactly, or not price points, but things that create points within the league. And this has a benefit of obviously being an enjoyable game for individuals in which they can earn rewards, but it also benefits our projects that are listed on Volcania in that there are mechanisms to ensure that projects that you may have not considered are placed front and center for our visitor traffic, right? I mean, I think in a previous discussion I mentioned, when was the last time that you were on page 10 of CoinMarketCap or, page 5 of Google search results? It's just not a very common occurrence. And so it's easy to miss relevant information or quality projects just simply because they don't have a market cap that equates them into the top 100, which is why we don't rank projects on market cap. And so an innovative tool that helps to promote all of the projects here on Volcania, Brew Labs included, though it doesn't look like Brew Labs needs much help because they are always near the top recently, in fact.
Yeah, the community loves it. They're always pushing the Volcania. It's it makes sense. Like it's a good platform, based on, I guess, people who are actually interested in projects, getting the limelight on what's worth looking at based on, what other people are looking at, I guess.
Sure. I mean, the true health of a project. I remember, what was it? The Human Computer. It just overnight, it was like top 3 market cap, just poof, just because it said they launched their token and they were in the top 3 from nowhere. Right. And it's because the rankings were based on market cap. And market cap just isn't the health of a project for the vast majority of projects. And that's why we use the Volcania rank, which, considers visits, which is, social proof. And then the number of holders changed in the 24 hours, total number of holders, things that actually really inspire confidence when you actually dig into a project. If you actually go and look at the Explorer or go look into the team and things like that, kind of help give you a better idea of the total health of a project rather than just a quick pump from like an L Bank listing or something to that effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. No, that's really exciting. So, just out of curiosity, the first kind of round. So, if people want to kind of jump in and participate and have a chance of winning some Brew Labs tokens, how do they? Is there like I guess there's a time frame that they need to kind of come in and participate by?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, we're launching our very first round here in, I believe it's 6 days. So maybe 5 days, 6 days, depending on what time it is, where you guys are at or where you are in the world. But all you need is to have a BEP20 compatible wallet like MetaMask or Trust Wallet. and come on over to vulcania.io/league and connect your wallet and register. That's it. There are benefits to holding VLK tokens, such as you get some extra bonuses in gameplay and boosting your points. But the balance has been very fair even for our free players. And so you do not need to hold Vulcania tokens to rank well in the league. Though from our own testing, I must say, being active in the league regularly is the key to success, right? Every day you're getting new boosts. Every day there's different changes in the market for the teams or the projects that you select for your Vulcania League team. And so everyone is welcome to come play as long as they got a BEP20 wallet. And you do not need to own VLK tokens. But to really win, you're going to have to remain active and actively manage your team to climb that leaderboard.
Yeah, wow. Well, luckily we've got lots of community members jumping over and participating on this platform. So hopefully one of our guys gets lucky, I guess, and takes home that 500,000 Brew Labs. I don't even know what that's worth at this point, but it must be quite sizable now. So it's a big prize pool.
Yes, sir.
So we
Absolutely
encourage everyone to get across there. Awesome.
Well, fantastic. Well, I don't have anything else to cover. And I'll give it back to you, Maverick, if you do, or we just kind of pass it off to the community if they have any questions. I know that this wasn't designed as an AMA, but we do have the extra time if you have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to take any questions if anyone's got any questions. If not, I'm more than happy to take it up to the hour, and I can talk a little bit about what to look forward to in terms of future for Brew Labs and what we've got kind of in the short term on our development roadmap, which will be coming out perhaps in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, go right ahead. But for now, let's hear about it.
Awesome. So there's quite a few, I think, Brew Labs holders in here anyway. So we'll talk a little bit about this in our weekly AMA, but for all the new listeners out there, so from where we are at this point in time on our development roadmap, we've just finished, as of last week, our freezer, which is our liquidity locking tool. We've got a few more UI updates that we're pushing forward on that particular DApp. So we're going to be integrating a few bits and pieces there probably over the next few days. We've also just recently finished the staging environment, which is basically like the testing environment for our cross-chain staking platform. So I know a lot of people out there have been asking, when are there going to be other networks on our staking platform? So I'm glad to let everyone know that we're almost there. We've got Ethereum and Phantom coming in on our staking platform. We've got quite a few Ethereum clients who have been asking about staking, so we're expecting to have a number of projects on that network available for people who are interested in staking with Ethereum. We've also got a few Phantom projects that have been waiting as well, so we're looking forward to getting those guys on board. A few people probably get asking, how do those kind of pools feed back to the Treasury contract? At this stage, we don't have Brew Labs cross-chain, so we can't go ahead and automatically purchase Brew Labs on those particular networks. There will be a process of us migrating and converting any kind of revenue that's generated on those other networks across to BSC. So that means we'll be having to obviously, sell the Phantom or the Ethereum, and then obviously buy BNB and then send that off to the Treasury contract. So a little bit of administration there, but that's okay for us for now. We're more than happy to do that. We can do that on a daily basis or basically, maybe once every few days, depending on how the fees kind of stack up. Once we've finished the incorporation of the cross-chain into our front end for the Ethereum and Phantom pools, we are going to then move on to the staking pool minter. We're just before we build that, we just want to get that CertiK audit back just to make sure that those guys are happy with the state of play for our code base on the staking pools. It makes sense, I guess, from our perspective. I'm sure everyone would agree that if we're going to be building a tool that deploys staking pools, that the staking pools that it is deploying are sound in terms of the security and also the code base. So we'll take that next development step once we have that report back. I'm hoping we get that report back at some point this week. With that, we can then obviously badge our staking pools as CertiK audited. I'm not sure if there's any other large platforms out there that have that tick of approval, apart from some of the really big players like PancakeSwap, etc. But we're doing what we can to make sure that people feel secure when they're staking with us, because we've had a few questions from people about security. We've obviously built the code base from PancakeSwap, which has been heavily audited by CertiK. But for us, obviously, we've incorporated some extra features to staking pools for reflections, capture, and compounding and harvesting. So we just want to make sure that all of that is acceptable. And obviously, once that audit comes back, and we've got that tick, then we'll be able to, get that deployer online or staking pool minter. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's very very straightforward. Basically, at this point in time, if people want staking pools that generate reflections, they have to come and contact us directly, and we go through the process of setting up the pool with them in terms of setting the parameters and the duration of the pool and how much supply needs to be transferred to the pool just to get it online and set it up. We've actually built a tool already that will automatically deploy and create smart contracts, staking pool smart contracts, set with the parameters that the user is setting through a wizard. So we're going to create a button or a tool on the front end of our staking platform where a project can just go straight to the front end and select, create a pool or something like that. And what will happen is a step-by-step wizard will show up in a small pop-up, guide the team through the steps that they need to take to set up the pool properly in terms of setting up the parameters, initializing it, etc. They'll pay a fee of 3 BNB to set up the pool, and then the pool will automatically deploy and then appear on our front end. So it's taking, the process of us generally, developing pools and automating it on our front end so people can around the clock go and create their own pools. They don't necessarily need to rely on us to create the pool for them. That frees up the
cool.
Yeah. So it frees up the team, and it also gives people the ability to, whenever they want, create that pool. So lots of flexibility there. That 3 BNB that's generated as part of that process feeds back into the treasury contract. So that's going to be a sizable injection of BNB every time someone creates a pool on our platform. So that'll be really exciting for everyone who watches the treasury contract. Those 3 BNB chunks will be hopefully coming through, as people create their pools. So for us, that's a great milestone. It's going to help, the project in many ways. And for people out there who are open to, staking with us, having the ability to and flexibility to come in and, create pools whenever they want to, that's going to be, I think very beneficial for any projects out there. The staking 100%. Pool minter. Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool because it's people can just share it with other projects who don't necessarily know about us, and then they can just go and make a pool, without even having to, I guess, worry too much about how to do it. The tool will actually explain everything step by step, and then obviously it's going to be reflections based pools as well, so you can set up the compound harvest and all that type of stuff. It's built in a way that's user-friendly, that anyone, with little to no experience can step-by-step make their own pool. It's designed for projects to come in and, make their pools. You wouldn't really have holders or anything like that going and making staking pools. It's for people who are actually, running projects and they want to provide staking to their community. So yeah, the staking pool minter as well, just just to touch on, further development on that. Once it's incorporated into our front end and people have the ability to kind of, come and go, well, as they please with their pools, we're going to also incorporate it into a few launch pads that we're building for a few clients, and also one that's already been built and up and running. And that's going to be a great tool for the launch pads as well. Basically, what's going to happen is anyone who creates a pre-sale in these launch pads can, at the point of finalizing their pre-sale, also opt to choose to create staking pools on the Brew Labs platform. So they'll be able to start their project after their pre-sale or fair launch, whatever they're doing through the platform, and opt to create a staking pool at that point in time. So their holders, as soon as they launch, have somewhere to put their tokens and to stake their tokens. So we're going to be kind of wholesaling this tool, or aggregating it out to other other launch pads. It won't just be tied into, this particular launch pad. It will be tied into a number of launch pads, which we over time will be generating, hopefully, a number of pools on our platform for projects out there who are launching for the first time. So, it's going to be great benefit for the platform to offer something like that for their projects that are launching through their launchpad, and it's going to be great for Brew Labs because we'll have more pools coming on to the Brew Labs own domain. That domain in itself, the staking pool domain, gets around about 110,000 views monthly. So it's a great platform for cross exposure for projects. Many people, obviously visiting the platform on a daily basis, get exposed to new projects that are listed on there, and also, can, just click into the project and do a little bit more research and see if they like what that particular project is doing, and potentially buy some tokens and stake them. That's kind of like what we're working on in the short term, in terms of the next few kind of development sprints. Once we've finished that, we are going to circle back, finish off the team lockers on the freezer, and then we'll start on our next tier 1 tool, which will be the Zapper. So that time frame, we're probably looking anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks. We really needed to kind of squeeze in the cross network kind of staking domain, because we've got a number of people from the other networks that are keen to get on the platform. So we thought we could kind of squeeze that in there, but it makes sense to get that done because we can potentially also offer the staking deployer or minter, whatever you want to call it, with cross-chain capabilities as well. So yeah, lots of cool stuff to look forward to in the short term for us. We've also got a few other kind of auxiliary projects that we're working on. And also, obviously, lots of client work. So, it's very, very busy for us. And things are, only hopefully going to improve. So, yeah, it's really exciting. And we're glad to see, obviously, the market kicking into gear as well.
Oh, Jesus, thank God, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's been well overdue. Albeit it hasn't been like a huge movements, but I guess we welcome anything that's moving. So that's really exciting.
Right. But it sounds like you guys got the right vision and the right energy and the right team, honestly.
Yeah, it's been really, really exciting time, and we've got the right community as well. Like a lot of the guys in our community are just, they're out there talking about Brew Labs, introducing it to, new people, and getting the message out about what we're doing and what we're trying to do. So that doesn't go unnoticed at all. The Brew Labs is a brand and a company that everyone benefits from the way it's structured. So, whether you hold a small amount or a large amount, you're directly benefiting from, all the tools that are being created. And it's, for us, we're a big group of people that hopefully can, make a big change in the space by providing, access or exposure to a legitimate company that's, hopefully going to not only bring some great ideas to the space, through new innovations, but also, help people, bring their innovations to the space as well. And that's really cool. I think that's something that, we can offer, not only fulfillment for our own holders, but also fulfillment for, people out there who've got new ideas and new innovations, helping bring them to life as well.
Excellent. Love it.
Cool. Well, I don't know if anyone's got any questions. But if anyone does, they're more than happy to put them. I'm more than welcome to put them in the chat or jump on voice. Oh, sorry, I'll scroll down a little bit. There's a few questions there. Is it okay if I go through some of these questions, Dr. T?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So Nima .bdc had a question about what is treasury contract. So the treasury contract, which has been named BIBO, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I always call it the treasury contract, but basically it's a special contract that we've developed that we send all of our feeds from our platform to, and the contract basically once a day we go in and we buy Brewlabs with it. And what that does is it takes Brewlabs out of circulating supply, puts it into the contract. That contract will then hold the value of Brewlabs. Now that happens every day. The fees that are generated in the last 24 hours, overnight, or during the day, are sent to the treasury contract. It will buy and hold with whatever amount of BNB it has in its wallet, and hold the Brewlabs tokens. To give you a bit of a rough idea, I think since we incorporated it into our ecosystem, which will be around about 4 weeks or 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks. No, someone will have to correct me on this, but I think we started it on the 4th maybe of March. So it'll be maybe 4 weeks this Friday. It's bought around about 1% of supply at this point in time, which is valued at, I think, around 160,000 or thereabouts. We can check it on Volcano actually. It'll be able to tell us the exact or thereabouts. Let's have a quick look. So it has bought $166,000 worth of Brewlabs in almost 4 weeks. So, the purchase power of this thing is really strong. And considering that, for us, we believe, still scratching the surface of what Brewlabs is going to be doing. As soon as we start incorporating some of these larger tools like Launchpads, bridges, all that type of stuff into our ecosystem, this treasury contract will become the largest holder of Brewlabs. And, we envision it owning as much of supply as it can get its hands on. So basically what we're trying to orchestrate on our chart is a squeeze for as long as we can. So basically taking as many tokens out of supply by means of having our holders stake. We've got farming available. We've also got a lot of auxiliary staking uses that are going to be coming up for the token. And also the Brewlabs treasury contract. So effectively what's going to happen is we're going to have this one contract that's going to be doing large BNB buys every day, fighting against little to no selling resistance, because tokens will be either staked or in other contracts that the holders are directly benefiting from due to the volume of BNB that's being bought. The Brewlabs treasury contract not only increases price but also distributes BUSD reflections. So in a nutshell, it's kind of like a feedback loop, but it's a feedback loop based on fees, and it's not based on your traditional buyback method or buyback, which is generally based on volume. So what we're doing is we're connecting actual utility that creates fees that then is used to buy back, rather than just relying on holders to buy and sell and take that volume. Yes, we do have a buyback tax, but that will be superseded in time once we have our tier 1 tools online coming through, and purchasing people using those tools and funneling that BNB to the Brewlabs treasury contract. Now, the tools that we build also work in symbiosis with the client work that we do. So people who come to us with an idea, they are more likely to use all the tools in our arsenal for their project. They'll more likely to use our Launchpad, they'll use our bridge, they'll use our LP locking tool, they'll use our pools. So you can really understand the scalability and the volume that this model can bring to this space, just driven off the services side of the business, attracting clients, driving them to our utilities, whilst at the simultaneously, getting the wider market using our utilities as well. So theoretically, the Brewlabs treasury contract will be the biggest and the biggest holder and the biggest purchaser of Brewlabs on a daily basis. Which, just for everyone out there who's a part of Brewlabs, this thing is going to be a monster. Fast forward, 6 to 8 months. it's going to be unstoppable. So, and with everyone's tokens like in staking and, in other places, it's going to have potentially no resistance. So that's the way the model is designed to work. And, we're really excited to try and bring this new concept to the space. And we really hope that, with that double kind of edged sword where we've got utilities plus client builds, where, client work for Brew Labs, we're in a really, really strong position. But obviously, sorry, I must say that's my personal opinion only. So, I just have to give the disclaimer out there. That's my personal opinion.
Not financial advice. The whole routine there. We got it.
So yeah, I'll just keep scrolling down, see if there's any other questions. Will we stake Volcania in Brew Labs? That is I'll leave that up to the Volcania team to answer that one, but there is discussions about that, so maybe watch this space.
An interesting idea.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, there's a picture of the treasury right there. Someone's posted a copy of one of its posts in there. That bot, the Golem bot, has the /treasury command in it. And we've also got the another bot that was made by Walter, one of the community members. He's made the Bibo latest stats, or Bibo latest stats, however you want to pronounce it. Gives you guys the current status of the bot and how much, the treasury contract and how much BNB is in there, the value, etc. So as it stands currently right now, there's 23.6 BNB in the treasury contract ready to execute a purchase today. Yesterday, I think it was around about the same amount or maybe a little bit less. It's probably averaging anywhere between 15 to 20 BNB or thereabouts at the moment per day. So, that's basically buying that value of tokens every day, taking it out of supply, effectively creating a price floor at the same time as well. So, yeah, it's motoring along. It's going really, really well. Sai has a question. Hey, Maverick, you meant to say Bibo when you pronounced it Bibo, right? Yes, that's correct. Bibo. Sorry, just to clarify.
How dare you make a mistake? How dare you be human?
There's there's an ongoing discussion in our community about its pronunciation. But look, I've tried to stay out of that, so I just call it the treasury contract. So I'll continue to stay in.
I got to vote
ground on that one.
Just with the very little bit of information that I have, I'm going to go with Bibo. It just makes the most sense to me.
Absolutely. Cool.
Well, it was fantastic having you on and your community. I'm glad that we're working so closely together with this and how well we're all getting along. Our communities are getting along. So it was a pleasure, and we look forward to having you on again.
Thanks, Dr. T. It was really nice, and we're more than happy to circle back and have another chat, and perhaps maybe if you guys would like to come over to our channel one time, we can have an AMA in there as well, and get to know a little bit more about Volcania and what you guys are looking to do in the future as well.
We'd love to see that, especially along with all the trash talking from what's going to be happening on the Volcania Crypto League. I think that'll be prime time, especially since your pump is just getting started. You guys are going to be a favorite pick, I'm sure.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for having me, and thanks again for allowing all the Brew Labs community and team to come over and get exposed to Volcania and looking after us on the platform as well. And again, the opportunity for us to participate in your first round. So it's fantastic. Really looking forward to the outcome of that and to see who's the lucky winner.
Hey, likewise. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. You take care.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.